The following are properties, original work, creations, and ideas of Kelebogile Sehoa. The ElementRings brand includes, but is not limited to, the ElementRings Pty Ltd company, the ElementRings script, comic book or manga script, characters, movie script, ElementRings merchandise, and Negu brand. All rights claimed and reserved by Kelebogile Sehoa. Hello and welcome back to ElementRings. Here's a quick recap before we continue. Botlhale and Jonathan aren't in harm's way any longer, and their families can now relax. Jonathan is attempting various tests to help minimize his amnesia. Please check out the previous audios before jumping into this one. Turn on your notification bells and let's keep this thing going. Now let's continue with the story. Botlhale pulled out a book, and as his hand vacated the package, he thought, I'm still wearing the ring. I had totally forgotten. The ring was still on Botlhale's middle finger on his right hand. He then looked at the book and saw the words "History Book" written on it. Look at how attractive and mysterious this book is. Talk about detail, Botlhale said to himself as he was spinning the book around and admiring it. He then realized that the book had 4 symbols branded on it. These were the same symbols that are on the box that houses the ring. What are these symbols? A triangle, a cross, an eye, and a fox head. Hey, the ring I'm wearing now has the symbol of an eye. Come to think of it, Mr. J has one with a triangle and another one with an eye similar to mine. This is cool. Botlhale then opened the book in an attempt to read it, but to his surprise, as he paged through the book, even getting to the last page, it was empty. What? The book is blank. A weird history book this is. I mean, what kind of history book doesn't have information? Botlhale asked himself while putting the book back into the package. He then took out another book, and it too was as attractive as the history book. The words "instruction manual" were written on this one. Let's see, maybe this one will tell me something. Botlhale opened the book, and as he was about to read it, a doctor came and said, "Time for your shot, young man. I hope you aren't afraid of needles." Botlhale chuckled and replied, "No, I'm not." The doctor then replied, "That's good. Pack your things so I can administer this shot." Botlhale closed the instruction manual and returned it to the package. The doctor gave Botlhale the shot, which caused him to fall asleep. Elsewhere, Zakes and the others had just gotten home. Then Zakes' phone rang. It was his father. "Hello, father," Zakes answered. Zeki asked, "How are you doing, son?" As Zakes was about to reply, Eliza took the phone from Zeki and said, "I knew it. You'd answer your father's phone, but you wouldn't answer mine. I'm disappointed in you, son." Zakes replied, "I'm sorry, Mom. It's been a hectic day." Eliza then said, "I saw an emergency broadcast on the telly about Menlyn Mall and I went cold. Are you guys okay?" Zakes replied, "We are fine, Mom. Botlhale is at the hospital though, and before you panic, he's going to make it." Eliza replies, "Of course he will. That one can fight. Keep us updated. Stay strong, son." Back at Mushidi's home, a woman entered the yard and knocked on the door. The time was 19:45. "Who is it?" asked Mushidi. "It's me, baby girl," Tabitha replied. Mushidi got excited and quickly opened the door to let her aunt in. The two of them exchanged hugs, and they were very happy to see each other. Back at the hospital, the doctors brought Jonathan back to the ward he and Botlhale shared, and Botlhale was still asleep. The doctors placed Jonathan beside Botlhale and they left. At this moment, both Botlhale and Jonathan were asleep, or unconscious. All of a sudden, Botlhale begins twisting and turning. He was having a nightmare about a monstrous figure, a silhouette of a creature unlike anything he had witnessed before. This creature was after him and it kept saying, "Give back my ring." Botlhale stumbles and falls to the ground, and the creature catches up to him and gets on top of him. He tries to fight it off, and as he does that, it breaks both his arms, which causes Botlhale to scream in the dream and in real life. The creature then goes for the ring, and then Botlhale hears Mendy's voice saying, "Face your fears, Botlhale, fight. Remember what you like to say? Negu, right? Never ever give up. Now fight, Botlhale, fight." Botlhale's scream woke the other patients and even had nurses running and checking on various wards. When they got in, they looked to where the scream might have come from and didn't see anything out of the ordinary. In the ward Botlhale was in, the nurse who checked that ward said, "That's weird. I could have sworn the scream came from this room." They turned back and went to the canteen. Botlhale, who was now awake, pretended to be asleep and was shivering while looking at the ring. "What the hell is this thing?" he asked himself. Jonathan, who was beside Botlhale, also pretending to be asleep, thought, "This kid needs more help than I do." That scream wasn't the scream of a normal boy. He had lost his memory again. 2 days passed. It was now a lovely Sunday morning, the day Botlhale is first from the hospital. Zakes called out to his family and said, "Come on, let's go. Botlhale is waiting for us." Zakes was already outside heading to the car. "Finally, my big bro is coming home," Califang thought while walking to the car. Everybody got in and they drove to the hospital. As the car was moving along, the rest of the family noticed something different on the dashboard. Zakes had put the picture on the dashboard, the same picture he said was his favorite back at Manlane Mall. "Look at us," said Matlohonolo as she smiled. Otlalifile added, "The picture looks great there, Dad." Califang looked at it and it made his eyes teary. So he looked out the window so the others don't see him get emotional. 40 minutes later, the family got to the hospital and parked their car. They entered the building and went to the receptionist. Matlohonolo and the kids went to Botlhale's ward while Zakes spoke to the receptionist. "Hello again. I don't know if you remember me, but I..." Before Zakes could finish his sentence, the receptionist interjected and said, "I remember you, sir. You can go right ahead. Your son should be ready." And that's the end of the 31st release. As you all heard, Botlhale got to attend the books that came with his ring, but to his disappointment, the history book was empty and blank, which surprised him. Later on, he then had a nightmare about a creature that says the ring belongs to it. Keep following the story. Thanks for the support, and bye for now.